Okay, so with this, like, for some reason very dark, apart from my nails, which are not dark. I'm sorry, but it's a new phone and I can't work out how to get the light balance right. So I just got all the lights in the studio on. Right, we're going to make this. I haven't blocked this yet, so it's a bit wiggly around the edges, but once I wet it and block it to 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters, it will hopefully look like that and be easily sewn on together to make the bag. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do the center bit. We're using 8x8 cotton, nice and thick, and a 4mm hook. I will start from scratch. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do the slip knot to begin. We chain, there's a little song going on in the other room. We chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to just go in that first stitch there, and we're going to bring the yarn all the way through. So now you've got like a round thing to work from. Now the first row is chain 2. That's actually our first stitch because we're going to do triples, UK triples, US doubles. Okay, so we'll do our first triple right into the middle of the work there. And I'm also going to show you what I do just to keep things tidy. I go over that end. So we can pull it tight at the end of the row, and also it just takes away a job of sewing in the ends. 1, 2, sorry if you can hear the pasta bag also being rustled next door as well. Don't make videos when everyone's home is the lesson to be learnt here. Okay. So I'm going over the end there, and I'm just doing these triples, trebles, US doubles. Probably better not to call them anything because it's too confusing that they have different names. Just watch what I'm doing. Wrapping round, 1 and 2, wrapping round, 1 and 2. Okay, we're going, wait, sorry, I just have to do that one again because you see with the cotton sometimes it gets a bit pulled out. It's not the same as other yarns. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 3 more to do. We do 11 of the trebles, but obviously that first stitch counts as 1, so 12 in total. And all the time we've gone around that back end there. I'll show you that in a second. I think that's me done. So then at the end we're going to pull that, and it just pulls that tight. And also we can just chop it off there if we want and not have to worry about sewing in the end. You can if you want, if you love doing that. Never have I met anyone that does. I'm just going to check my stitches. 1, that first chain 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now to finish this row, I'm going to go into the top of the chain 2, and there we're done with that row. Now for the second row of this section, I'm going to do the same stitch, but we go twice into every stitch. I'm just going to show you something that I think is quite hard to explain on the pattern, so hopefully everyone will watch this to see. We're going to chain 2 for the first stitch, and now I'm my very first treble, what am I going to call it? Choose it. I'm going to call it a treble every time. Okay, so my very first one, I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to go back and do it in that same stitch as I came up with the 2 chains. So that's 2 in there, that one there, and then we go on, and with every stitch we do 2 trebles, double in the US, and then we will end with 24, because that first 2 chains, that counts as one of our stitches. Okay, so then when we're finished here, after I've checked that I don't have the count wrong, then we're finished with this colour, and we move on to that, whatever you want to do your petals in. Let's just have a little count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So then we're going to go into that top of the chain 2, and then we're going to cast off. Probably just chop that a little bit. So now we're going to work on these petals. All right, so we're going to use the petal colour there. Going to make the slip stitch to attach. I'm actually going to go in that. I've not worked out where is the actual best place to start this, but I'm just going to go in there. And you do have to sew in those ends afterwards, because we cast on and then we chain 6. All of the chains count in the stitch count of this one if you're working from the pattern. 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we skip over 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do a slip stitch in here. Oh, sorry, just need to get all of that in there. Okay, don't do your chains too tight, because you don't want that, you want them to sit next to the round bit, not be too tight. Okay, so we're going to do 6 here, 4, 5 and 6, and then again we miss 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so into the next one, slip stitch, and then 2 more like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm really hoping you can't hear the dog. Yeah, look at her. You know what. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Penny, can you stop doing that, please? In her defence, I think it is her leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then into that same stitch as you started with, and then you slip stitch again. All right, and now we're down, sorry, round to the beginning again. Oh yeah, I had forgotten, you can actually sew around these ends if you want to on this row. It's up to you. Like if the first one you try, maybe you don't want to do that, it complicates things. So I'm not going to this time, just to keep things as simple as possible for demonstration purposes. So now we're going to work into these chain spaces. So we start with 1 double crochet UK. This is called a single crochet in the American terminology. And then we do a chain. I'm going to go super slow and come a bit closer. So 1 stitch in there, double crochet in English, single crochet US, and a chain, and then 1 triple, so wrap around and then do there, and then 1 double triple, so that's 2 times around. Again, obviously it's not called that in American. What's a double triple? Treble treble. I just wish we didn't have to call these any names. Just look at what I'm doing. And then 1, 2, 3. So we're just making, basically we're doing this shape. We're making the stitches longer and longer, and then shorter and shorter on each one, 4 of them. So then the next one, the next 6 of them actually are treble trebles in the UK. What on earth would that be? Would that be double treble treble? I will find out what that's going to be, because I've not written my American version yet, so I'm going to have to find out what on earth that is. So that's 3 times around the hook, and you just, it's a little bit fussy, but not too hard. So 6 of those, and keep pulling them up because you want it to do this shape. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 more household sounds for you. Then 2 more of these really long ones. Last one of these really long ones, and I'm going to do a double check of the count. Sometimes I get it wrong when I'm doing these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Okay, so those are the really long stitches in the middle there. And now we work our way back down towards this part. So we're just going to wrap around twice. And then we wrap around once. And then we do a chain. And then here, I just need to check on my pattern, we just do a slip stitch. So it's like slightly different there than it was here, just because this is the way it looks identical. Because, yeah, whatever, life. So then let's start the next one. We're going to go under there, the next chain space. Hang on, household sounds again. And we're going to do a normal stitch, which is a double in English, single in American. A chain, wrap around once, do a treble. Yeah. And then wrap around twice and do a double treble UK, a treble treble US. And now let's just talk about wrapping around how many times. Okay, we're going to wrap around 3 times and do 6 of this stitch. Oh, now we're going to get a barking dog. That'll be interesting. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. How many have I done now? So 2 more. This should be the last one of these long ones. And then we just wrap around twice now. So shortening the stitches. Now wrap around once. Bringing the work down, and then we chain 1. And then we do a slip stitch here. And that's our first 2 petals done. And we are just going to continue that round to the other 2. There. Then we have our little flower done. And now we're going to do this bit. But first of all, we cast on. Let me just show you what will be left at the back for you to do. This little thing. I'm just going to knot it. I hate thingying in. That one as well could do with knotting in there, right? And yeah, don't kill me, or rather don't hate me. I'm just going to do that because I'm so lazy. And I'm never going to let anyone look inside my bag. And now we're going to use this colour to do the outside. We'll see from the images that we're just going to do something. So we need to make this a square now, right? So we do some longer stitches here and then chains into the tip of each of the petals. So we'll cast on, and we can cast on in the middle of one of the petals, like the top. So we'll find one of those 6s. So there's 2 other ones, 1, 2, 3. So this is the middle. And we're just going to cast on there. That was tough. And sorry, I'm just reading my pattern to check I don't tell you wrong. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've written on the pattern because I want you to completely understand what I'm doing. Now I can just explain to you. we're just going to do a double treble UK down into the bottom stitch of the petal. So we miss 6, like about 6, and we just go down into there. So we're doing a two wraparound. And what I try and do is I try and get as close to that slip stitch as possible. If you can only get in there, it's fine. But the lower you can go with this, I'm just going to go in there. You basically want it to be as much in that middle. You don't want it to pull the petal up in that point, in essence. You just want it to sit like that. So as close as you can get to this slip stitch, the better. So if you can get down there, go for it. 7 chain again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go into, again, the top of this. So I'm going to find the third one of those long stitches. Slip stitch there. Let's have a look at that first. So that'll start bringing that straight edge in, although it's wobbly until you make a few more lines. And 7 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then wrap around twice and go as low as you can and as central as you can. You want it right above that slip stitch if possible. And then 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The very top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wrap around twice and finding that point. Wait, it could be really tight here. You don't want to like pull through the wrong threads like I kind of am there, because I've knotted that and cut it off like an idiot, being too overexcited. So there. Oh, for God's sake. Please God, let this stitch be over. And chain 7. Into the top of the petal, chain 7, just one more row left. I mean one more section of this row, that's what I meant. I think there's like 2 more rows left and then we're done. Seven, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going in the same hole as we began with. I'm going to double check that. Yep, same stitch as you began, slip stitch into there. Now row 7, we are working in these chain spaces, obviously, and we are going to chain 1. Oh, sorry, we're going to DC. So I worked out that it looks better if we hop up rather than starting here and having these 2. Let's hop up onto there. I'm going to go around this end to make life a bit easier. You don't have to if you don't want to. And we're just going to do English double crochet, American single crochet there, just to hop up and have that joined as one stitch in there, in that hole. Now we're going to chain 1, and that counts as our first triple stitch because we've got that double crochet and then a chain, or the single crochet. Sorry, confusing things. We've got a stitch and then a chain, and then we're going to do 7 trebles UK, doubles US in this hole, 7 of them. And because that first little hybrid of stitches, that's going to count as our first treble. In the total count, it would just be 8 here. Am I really complicating things by explaining it like that? Anyway, we're going to do 7 of these stitches now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 more. 4. And I'm going to try and do it around this end so that my future self thanks me. Now I'm just going to leave an end to chop, otherwise it pulls it round and it gets a bit messy. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 more here. And with that funny little thing, it's 8. So then we go on and we do 8 in each of these holes. 1, 2. For some reason I've dipped my cotton in my glass of water. Must have flung up in the air and landed in my glass of water. So now I've got like a really strangely tight section. That's great. It's really hard working with wet yarn, isn't it? So there's 8 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more on here, and then I'll show you a corner. And to go around the corner, on this row, all we do is chain 2. And then we do 8 in the next chain space. 8 of the same stitch. Treble UK, double American. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then another bunch of 8 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go around the corner with chain 2, 1, 2, and another 8 in this chain space. And then chain 2, and we go into that top of the first little weird hybrid stitch we did. Okay, don't worry, this will look better once we've blocked it, I promise. Now the last row, let's have a look. Row 8, we're going to chain 2, that counts as our first treble stitch or double stitch in US. 1, 2, and then we're going with a normal treble double US into the next 14 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we're going across the whole line here, 13 and 14. So then we're up to the corner. Now what we do in the corner here, so I'll just show you that. So you did your first chain 2 there, and then so in total we have 15 along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Always relieved when that actually is true. And now we're working on the corner, which we do into this chain space we made on the row below, and we do 3 trebles, and then a chain 2, and then another 3 trebles, all in the same hole. So 1 treble UK, double US, so 3 of those in here, same hole, and then chain 2, and then into that same chain space we do another 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, now just make sure there's no overlap onto stitches here. What I'm going to do, just because I always doubt myself, I'm going to count that there's 15 stitches here, and I don't need to go into like that one there. So if I didn't go in there, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I don't need to go into that like one tucked underneath here. I'm going to go in here. So 15 total along this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh God, 11. Does anyone else have that trouble with cotton? Sometimes it splits. 12, 13, 14. Another flood of relief as the stitches add up. And then we're going to do the same in the corner there. So 3, and then chain 2 and then 3 more. One thing I haven't talked about is that I do need to talk about the stitches, the names for the stitches, because how I crochet is a little bit different. So chain 2 now is a little bit different when I'm doing these, because some people wrap around that way, don't they? And they do it. It looks exactly the same as far as I'm concerned when you wrap around that way and do it. I think in demonstrations it's just a bit easier to see what people are doing, right? I'm sorry if I've confused you with the way I do them. I've literally just been so lazy. Oh, it's not even that, is it? It's this. So that way is the way I do it anyway. It's the fact that when people wrap around behind to pull the stitch through, they often go around that way, whereas I do not. I just grab it like that and pull it through. That's what it is. So they're more or less exactly the same. So how other people do it is, what do they do? They go, no, they don't do that. I do that. They go, no. Do you know what? Fuck it. Just do a British treble here or a US double. However you do it, you will end up with the correct looking granny square. And hopefully when you watch me do it, you can still see the stitch that I'm ending up with, whether or not you do it exactly the same way as me or not. It doesn't matter. It's the end result that counts, right? So 15 along there, then 3 in this hole. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 again in the same hole. Then we've got our last corner, 3, chain 2, then 3 again. And then we're going to chain into, to finish off, we're going to chain into the top of that first stitch. Okay, and then here we are, finished the granny square. What I'm going to show you now is a kind of, if you've never blocked before, I'm going to show you how easy it is. So I do that before I sew in any ends that there are or anything. Obviously, lazy girl, that's not bothered. But this one, I'm just going to get, what I get is like a piece of cardboard. You can get some like pegboard things. I've seen people use pegboards for it and it looks really nice. I just use a piece of cardboard and pins. Get a ruler, mucky old one from school that I have like this, that's broken, and I'm going to pin them out 14 centimeters, so like that wide. So it just makes the edge nice and straight. Okay, so let's get that. It's like obscenely bright piece of card. Let's do that. No, let's be bright. Okay, so I wet it first. I'll put it under the tap. I'll spray on some starch, and then I will, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to mark out where my pins are going. So there, and 14, so 14 all the way around basically. And just kind of check that I've done a, actually no, not at all. That's like massively different, Julie. So 14, okay, I was going from that one, wasn't I? Okay, then get some pins. It'll be easier to stretch when it's wet. I get one, get another one. There. You can like spray with a bit more starch or wet just to get everything nice and to your liking. I like to just make sure they're all sitting comfortably in like a nice square shape. And then once that's dry, you pile it up, because we are making 16 of these babies. When people have those like proper thingy boards with pegs, they'll like slot on loads of them. You could do that. That'd be quite satisfying. I might do that. I've got a pegboard. Make me feel like a real professional. Okay, so good luck. Carry on going. You will get the hang of it. Those petals are the only bits that need like proper counting, just to make sure you get the 6 in the middle and the ones on the way down. The rest of it is pretty simple to keep right. Okay, and see you on the next bit, which once you've got them all done, you're going to have to do the handle, and I think you might want me to show you this really good and quick version of an I-cord for the handle. So I'll make that video next.